Let me talk to you.
The biggest icon in wrestling.
Yeah. Let me talk to you.
Welcome. We are live for another episode of Let Me Talk to You, episode 39. Of course, you got your boy Frankie Fresco repping that Columbia, and then of course DiTrapio coming back from taking a week off. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for asking, sir. I'm glad to be back, and let's talk a little bit about sports, man.
Absolutely. So I want to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody who's tuning in, obviously on Twitch, on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, on all those platforms. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Also, we're getting people coming in one by one. We got Steven Gonzalez already coming in. He's like, yo, Frankie, what up, homie? Looking forward for tonight's show. Definitely. Memo saying the champ is here. I don't know what he's talking about there. Sean Stanley saying congratulations to Memo. What is all these congratulations? I don't know what the hell these people are talking about. And then, of course, no doubt, hello, gentlemen. Definitely, sir. We'll give you a quick breakdown of what we're going to talk about. We're obviously going to start with NXT. You see the background is the only way to start the show. And then we'll talk about the Dolphins. We're going to talk a couple things about the Dolphins. We're going to talk about, did Chris Grier get it all wrong? We're also going to talk about, obviously, Tua, Huntley, Skyler, the concussions, the decisions, everything. Then we'll jump a little bit into some college football, talk about those ugly and annoying University of Miami that keep winning, the Canes, they keep winning. But I have scores for everybody, and we'll talk about everybody because we here in Let Me Talk to You are going to represent every single Florida team. So we're going to go ahead, and I even found some other school that I didn't even think they existed in Florida. So it's pretty cool. And then obviously we'll end the night with some soccer. And then obviously, Josh, what up, Frankie and DiTrapio? Glad to have DiTrapio back. Let's go Inter Miami. That's true. Inter Miami has had a good one. But we're first going to go ahead and start with, of course, the talk of the town. And the talk of the town is none other than the champion last night, Mr. DJ Memo. If you guys were wondering what happened, why me and Sean were not able to do Let Me Talk to You, one of the reasons I wasn't able to do the show yesterday was because I was out there helping and, not helping, but I guess kind of supporting my boy, DJ Memo. If you guys know, Memo is an avid listener of the show. So, of course, bro, I was going to show you some love all the time, my friend. So, congratulations. He won a DJ battle. And not only is Memo a champion, your boy Frankie Fresco is a champion too. We're both champions. I didn't get a plaque. I got the cool little trophy, so it's pretty cool. We're both champions this year, so hopefully next year we continue to succeed in our DJ careers and we keep pushing and hopefully we get more. It's always fun to be able to explore things that I never in my wildest dream did I ever think I would compete, and never did Memo either. Memo wasn't like 100% like, yo, I'm in, I'm thrilled and everything, until it finally came. And then that's when he got he got into it. He was involved. He was like, yo, I gotta kill it. And obviously the nerves, they're gonna come, but at the end of the day, big shout out to everybody over there. Everybody all the DJs, Mills was out there as well. She's a well-known DJ in South Florida. And also our boy Joey, he was there. And DJ Amps, he was another DJ who competed. There was another guy by the name of Tony who competed. And unfortunately, I apologize, there was another young lady that was also competing. But Unfortunately, I don't remember her name, but shout out to all the DJs. They did a well job. And shout out to the defending champion from the year before. He actually made a guest appearance. That was DJ Nasty from 99 Jams. So for all you guys that are from South Florida or don't know one of the radio stations here in South Florida for hip hop and R&B, it's 99 Jams, and DJ Nasty won it last year. So hopefully next year we'll have now Memo kind of open up the event, and then obviously we'll have some new DJs out there. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about NXT. And of course, one of the biggest talks of last night was, of course, the arrival, sir. The arrival of the man. I'm talking about this man right here. Look at him right there. He's right there, and boom, he's right there now as well. That is our boy CM Punk. He made his way. DJ Lulu, Brazil girl. There you go. Alex, thank you, Big Al. Thank you also. Oh, shout out to Big Al too. Big Al was also out there with me, so we both all represented. So DJ Lulu, shout out to her as well. That was the other DJ. So now let's go ahead and what is Sean talking about? He says, look at Frankie Fresco making it all by himself. Get out of here, Sean. Anyways, so talking about CM Punk, he made his guest appearance last night. Obviously, at the very like in the middle of the show, they didn't open it with it. They tried opening it with the signing of the contract of obviously Ethan Page and Trick Williams, but they obviously could not get it together with Ava, so they had to push it back to the end of the show, which was kind of understandable. So the first time that CM Punk came out, he was rudely interrupted by Roxanne Perez, who actually went, Nick, and said that before this episode, she has always said that CM Punk is her favorite wrestler. But she confessed to the fans. She confessed to the NXT fans. She said, you know what? I should have never been a CM Punk fan. I should have been a Drew McIntyre fan. Right in his face. And I guess it's because obviously CM Punk and Julia is going to be he was kind of favoring Julia, but nothing happened. So a lot of us were like kind of wondering, like, what the hell was this? Like, all you got was kind of like a face off between Julia and Roxanne Perez in the middle of the damn ring with CM Punk in between. And I get Julia was turned her back to walk away, and then Roxanne Perez went to go hit her, and then CM Punk was able to stop and not allow her to get hit. So nothing too big, Nick. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary. I thought he was going to have more of a big impact on the show. So that's what we got from CM Punk to begin. But there was a lot of news that was happening, sir. And we're not done with CM Punk, just like we weren't done with Memo. One of the biggest news that's coming out is that they're starting to build out a lot of these headlines for the episodes that are heading over now to the CW. Obviously, NXT is heading out there. And one of the biggest things was they announced it. And this is Javon. Javon was asking for an opponent, and then Randy Orton actually went ahead and tweeted this out and said, "Hey, Javon, want to know who your opponent is? See you in St. Louis, October the 8th." So now it is officially confirmed the second episode or the second show in the CW for NXT. We're gonna have Javon going against Randy Orton, bro. Talk to me, Nick. What you think about this matchup, Javon against Randy Orton?
I mean, it's been a big splash for NXT, so I think this is a great move, and we'll figure out how it plays out. Circling back to CM Punk, his impact, I think what he did was honestly more than enough. I think the crowd was a little bit different, him around inside the arena, and it looked like NXT belongs up there with SmackDown and Raw in the sense of like they can put big wrestlers and kind of neutral the playing field between NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. Like I feel like NXT could have potential doing that. So I really like that the impact that CM Punk brought, and it was nice. I'm not gonna lie to you. From a fan perspective, I was into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna ask you a quick question towards the end of our segment about that, because I'm starting to notice something when it comes to NXT, and I think maybe WWE is going a different route with NXT. Maybe a route that Sean, I think, initially kind of was hoping for. And I think they're gonna go that route. It looks like they're going that route, but we'll
Mhm.
tell you exactly what we mean by that. But one of the things that was also announced last night was the fact that there will be a street fight between Wesley and Zachary Wentz. Obviously, Wesley attacked Zachary's partner from the Rascals, and now we don't know how long he's gonna be out for. So now they leveled this fight even to another level by going ahead and having a street fight in that Chicago card. Again, the very first show on the CW when NXT moves on. So this is going to be interesting because they're building up this card like there's no tomorrow. After that, there were a couple segments they were talking. Obviously, Chase U was a good segment that was being talked about as well. And we're Chase U is gonna go ahead and have a match next week, which is good. A matchup is gonna be obviously Rich Holland, who's gonna be who's trying to tear down all of uh, Chase U, and obviously he will go ahead and now challenge Riley, who is the last member that he hasn't beat up on. I don't think he's gonna beat the hell. I hope he doesn't. It would be funny if he does, but obviously, he's trying to get over everybody at Chase U. He already destroyed Andre Chase. He went ahead and beat Duke, and now he's trying to get Riley out of there. So, Nick, talk to me, man. What do you think is gonna happen? Do you see you know Rich Holland going ahead and just annihilating Riley, or do we actually get a little glimpse of maybe the return of Andre Chase because he's been out for a while?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is gonna. There's more to the plot than what they're trying to show, and so we're definitely gonna not only see a good match, but we're gonna see a couple of surprises. That I'm not sure what type of surprises, but there's. I feel like NXT is gonna throw in a curveball, especially for a big event such as this one. Um, best believe that's gonna be an entertaining fight. And circling back to Wesley and Rascal, I think that's gonna be a boring fight. They need to end that already. That's getting boring.
Well, the event of obviously of next week between Rich Holland and Riley is still on USA Network. So it's not the one that goes to the CW. Another match that they announced for next week will obviously be
Oh, I see.
Kalani Jordan versus Ren Sinclair. Ren Sinclair was interfering in a match, and then eventually what ended up happening was Ren Sinclair slapped the hell out of Kalani Jordan, which then eventually ended up costing. It ended up costing, I guess, the NXT to go ahead and built this fight. So now we're gonna get this fight for next week, which is gonna be for obviously the North American Championship. So that's another match for next week. And then one of the other things that they did announce for next week's show is that they're gonna be having the press conference for the first episode of the new the NXT episode that's going to be heading over now to the CW. So they're going to do a press conference. Obviously, these are 3 matches already confirmed for the first episode of NXT on the CW. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see some fireworks. All these 3 matches again will be on the NXT episode on the CW, which is going to be cool because obviously they're hyping it up like crazy, and obviously you'll see maybe some scrambles between any of these wrestlers. They'll probably go at it during that press conference. I kind of like that they do these press conferences. It reminds me of the UFC, and in the UFC you could always like talk crap about each other, so I like that. Another thing, Nick, I wanted to tell you or inform or show you was the fact that another big name, man, another big fight being announced, and this is why at the end I'm gonna ask you this question, and again, now this one again, another the second episode, the one's gonna this is not the one in Chicago, but this one in St. Louis. All of a sudden now we have Axiom and Nathan Frazier going against A-Town Down Under. So, sir, another another team from the SmackDown roster or the Raw roster now making its way over to NXT for this particular episode. You know, what do you think, sir? Do you see the belts changing hand here? And second of all, are you noticing the trend that they're doing when it comes to the first episode in Chicago, and then their second televised episode, which will be held in St. Louis, which is this fight that we see here.
Yeah, I honestly, what your vision is kind of my vision. I think NXT is deciding to make that extra step. Do I see Axiom beating A Town Down? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think if they do, I mean that would be a huge curveball for me. Obviously, the main roster is in SmackDown or in Raw, like those are top tier wrestlers. So yeah, I just like the fact that they're putting these matches and showing to the people that NXT is kind of like the next thing you need to watch on Tuesday.
Yeah, and one of the things that they did in order for them to promote this match, which eventually is gonna happen in St. Louis, is now next week they're gonna do the Grayson Waller effect in NXT. So instead
Look
of
at
having
that, bro.
so you have the Grayson Waller effect moving for a minute, I guess. I don't know if it's gonna be permanently, but Grayson Waller will now be on NXT for the Grayson Waller effect with special guest Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Obviously, they're gonna be promoting their fight in St. Louis. So again, another trend where they're just keep on going ahead and kind of taking out little things from the main roster and bringing them over to the NXT. Now, again, Nick, that Chicago show is the first one. That St. Louis show is the second one in the CW. What's going to happen after that? Are they going to go ahead and continue? Because remember, at the end of the day, NXT is supposed to be their own brand. They're not supposed to be competing or being one of the third level brands of the WWE. It's only supposed to be, they're, I guess what, like a subdivision where where they obviously get their wrestlers, build them up, and eventually move them to the main roster. We're noticing a trend here.
So
Now,
like baseball between AAA and MLB.
yeah, I mean, they've always been kind of like the third, show that, it's used to kind of build their new wrestlers and then eventually draft them in the WWE draft and eventually make it to the main roster. But we're seeing a little bit of a difference. Now, I did mention at the beginning of the show that obviously they started the show with Ethan Page and Trick Williams trying to get the contract signed with Ava, but it didn't work out. So what did the NXT world do? They should have brought in somebody from Orlando because they're in Orlando, but they brought in Tyler House. How do you say his last name? Tyler
Tyrese
Halliburton. Yeah,
Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton. There you go. They brought this guy, and he's been in the main show as well. He's been on SmackDown a couple times as well. This guy's a really big. I mean, I don't like the Indiana Pacers, but I do like the fact that he likes wrestling. And not only that, he brought his whole Indiana Pacer team. They were all sitting in the crowd as well, sir. So when this happened, we were saying, okay, he's gonna get the job done. I like his shirt. He has that Shawn Michaels shirt. That's pretty badass. I wonder where he got that Shawn Michaels shirt. That looks pretty cool. And he was officially able to get the fight signed. So now it's official. We're going to get Trick Williams versus Ethan Page on that first episode of, the CW. But right before the show ends, there was another kick. And of course, what was the surprise for all of us, sir? The surprise, once again, was this man being called out for a second time, and the fans were going wild, and particularly Frankie Fresco, because Frankie Fresco is a big CM Punk fan. And because he was there, why did they call him? Because now it's official, sir. Official. CM Punk will be the guest referee at the main event between Trick Williams and Ethan Page for the NXT belt. Sir, talk to me, man. What do you think about that, sir? What do you think about that?
I love it, man. It's showing how CM Punk is slowly realizing, hey, I'm no longer, the person in charge to hold down the crowd and have big matches. I can be the mentor now. I can kind of, create this development of, energy and how he promoted the shit out of those two guys, even made it even more important. So like now his new role is just another chapter of CM Punk that we're just gonna be looking forward in the future. But for sure, this is gonna be a huge thing not only for you but a lot of CM Punk fans. And so my question is, sir, do you like the WWE CM Punk or the AEW CM Punk?
Wow. I like the AEW CM Punk because the AEW CM Punk was wrestling a lot more than the WWE CM Punk. The WWE CM Punk, he's wrestled here and there, made some guest appearances here and there, but in AEW he was doing a hell of a job. He was wrestling all these guys and he was pushing the brand, and I thought he was doing a lot for AEW, and it just, I guess, didn't work out for AEW. AEW did not appreciate him, and you could see how AEW is hurting when it comes to Collision, because CM Punk, when it came to Collision, that was his baby. He was the one holding it down, and now, bro, I think they're getting
So
less than 100,000 viewers on that show.
now, do you feel like they're willing to give CM Punk the type of power in place in order to kind of push NXT as well?
Well, then that's where we're gonna go ahead, and that's the question I wanted to talk about, and that's exactly why I highlighted that actual message from Sean. Since back in the day, Triple H wanted it to be its own brand. Never thought it would happen, but seems closer than ever. You see what they're doing. They brought CM Punk for the first show on October the 1st. They brought Randy Orton for October the 8th. They're mixing and matching these fights. They're going ahead and putting the Grayson Waller effect for next week to promote, obviously, Nathan and XCM fighting against A-Town Down, which is happening in St. Louis. You have CM Punk now as the guest referee for the October 1st card. And if you paid attention to what he said, he was mentioning that, I'm going to go up against Braun Breaker. I'm going to go up against this guy and that guy. He was mentioning a lot of ex-NXT wrestlers, which brings me to think that NXT, man, I think they're going to mix and match these guys. And I think personally, Frankie Fresco thinks what Sean initially said, that I think NXT is officially going to be a third brand. They're going to go ahead and push NXT to be a third brand, and it's now not going to be like the baby of the two big shows. It's going to be right there with the other two shows, and I think they did it because they know that they're getting value and the fans invested, not only with obviously the big stars coming from the other shows, but from TNA, because TNA has worked. That has actually worked very well for them. And I think that's the issue. That's what's pushing them to go ahead and try this third brand. What about you, sir? Do you think that's going to happen?
So you're saying TNA is going to fill in for that NXT, hey, building up type of foundation, and then
absolutely, man. I have no feeling that I have no doubt that at one point in time we're eventually going to see Joe Henry sign with WWE. I have no doubt that Jordan Grace will sign with WWE. There might be little clause here and there, but I have the feeling they're going to sign all those people. I just can't believe that they're just using them so much without the fact that they're not going to get anything out of it. You understand me? I think they're going to eventually push this because they they see something. They found something, and let's be honest, they kind of like.
I mean, NXT's been going on for how long? 10 years now, more or less.
It's been going on for a while. But again, it's something that we never thought would happen, where they would go on their own and be a third brand. But it's getting closer and closer, and I think at the end of the day, if NXT does this move, will it affect SmackDown and Raw? Because now you see how they're mixing and matching. Do you really want to see CM Punk in NXT? And do you want to see CM Punk on Friday Night SmackDown? Do I want to see CM Punk on Tuesday? And do I want to see him on Friday? Do I want to see Cody Rhodes on Monday, and do I want to see him again on Tuesday? I don't know where they're going with this. Should they do that, Nick? Should they start moving these guys around and just rotating some of the big dogs over there, still keeping obviously their main roster like Trick Williams, Ethan Page, all those guys, Roxanne Perez, Julia, those girls still in NXT, but rotate some of the other guys and gals over to the NXT world. Do you like that? Do you think that's the right route for them to do? And do you think that's the way they're heading?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think that's the direction. Obviously, you see the push, and now would it affect the Raw and SmackDown for sure? And that's why they're realizing, hey, the wrestlers that are not getting too much push right now, they're not getting too much energy. You stick them into that NXT crowd, and it changes the whole perspective of that person when it comes to, character development with the NXT wrestlers. Like Grayson Waller effect and all that, it sounds great, but seeing it now in NXT, people are gonna see it differently, and it attracts again the audience. And so I think that's a good route for them to rotate wrestlers are right now. Either they're not having a huge pop, but they're still a little bit. They still have a fan base, and then you have those legend dairy wrestlers that you wish you can ask them to keep on wrestling on Raw and SmackDown forever, but at the end of the day, they got to kind of transition to like what CM Punk is doing, which is more talking and less wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am very intrigued to see how Javon goes up against Randy Orton. I think that's a really good matchup that nobody saw it coming anytime soon. So I think Javon Evans is a very, very strong talent in the NXT world, and now you're bringing him against Randy Orton. Now, it works two ways, right? Because if you notice on the SmackDown and on the Raw side, there's a lot of matches that are done that there's a lot of matches that have been seen on the NXT world. If you start showcasing some of these matches, versus Javon Evans versus Randy Orton, and then you see it again in SmackDown, does it lose value, Nick?
100%, but I don't know if they'll. It depends, because if you let the youngster win and beat the veteran, and he's like, no man, let's bring it back to SmackDown, people are be like, damn, all right, let's see if Randy Orton can beat him now. So I think that would be a good way of putting it. Yeah, obviously, if they put, hey, Randy Orton beat him, but by like not like easily, then it builds character development, and eventually people are gonna be like, damn, I want him to now go to SmackDown and see if he can actually beat him, even though he lost by an inch. You get me? So there's a lot of things they can kind of like mix and match. But if you're gonna go the AEW route, which is bring good matches with no character development, then yeah, you're gonna get tired, bro.
All right. Well, we'll see where they go with this, man. I'm excited. We got one more episode on the USA Network, and then we're heading over to the to the CW episode. So this should be very, very interesting, and definitely, I want everybody to go ahead and try to tune in, because I think that at least those first two episodes are definitely worth watching. After that, we'll see if they continue to bring some of the main roster over. In the meantime, let's go ahead.
Can you imagine a main event, which I wouldn't be surprised if one day, like I don't know, like I know WrestleMania is kind of like all of them put together, but like putting NXT, because NXT is still not in WrestleMania, right?
No, but they usually have like their like a
Own
live
version?
like their live event during the weekend of WrestleMania as well. So they do have sometimes that where they have like a live event going on um during leading up to WrestleMania. So I have seen that happen before. So I don't know if
That's like the prelims.
kind of like if it was like the prelims or like the dark hour or the pre-show before the actual WrestleMania. They have done that before. Maybe they incorporate it in the sense that now they bring all three of them. Like I said, I like the idea of bringing them all, making them all a different brand. My only issue is, will the fans still be invested on all three brands as time progresses? Because you're using CM Punk at Raw, Then you're using CM Punk again on NXT. Do I really want to see CM Punk on Monday, and do I really want to see CM Punk on Tuesday? Now, granted, they're just show a lot of wrestlers in Raw, so maybe they don't show CM Punk the same time that same week as they're showing him on NXT. But they're gonna have to learn how to wiggle their room with these wrestlers. And keep in mind, Nick, Monday Night Raw is going back to 2 hours, so it's gonna be interesting to see. Maybe it doesn't get so much of a hit because of that. Because now we're doing a show that's gonna go back to 2 hours instead of 3 hours once it moves its way over to the Netflix platform. So we'll see, man. Anything else you wanted to talk about when it comes to NXT?
No, man. I think I'm excited to see how it goes from here, and just keep tuning in.
No, and no doubt you do mention a good point. We do see NXT wrestlers in Royal Rumble. The only issue is, do you see these wrestlers on a continuous basis jumping from one side to the other? And that's where it's going to be kind of like the WWE is going to have to figure out a way to kind of, you know, juggle all three brands and still make them relevant and not lose interest in one or the other. Because at least in my world, NXT was always like, the young kids, the kids that were trying to make it into the big show. Does that also remove the draft? Do we not have a draft anymore? Because a lot of the guys and gals would always want to move from the NXT world over to the main roster. So will draft still consist of that? Or will they now just make it like a brand draft? I don't know. It's a lot of options. It's it opens a lot of doors. So we'll see. All right, but let's go ahead and jump horses here, and we're gonna talk, of course, about the Miami Dolphins. And there's no better way to talk about Miami Dolphins than hearing all you guys, how the fans got so excited, right? All of us are so thrilled at the fact that Tua Tagovailoa is back, baby. He's back. He said he's not going to retire. He's going to go. He's going to get himself checked, and he's coming back. And how did we all celebrate his return? Let me show you guys.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. This is my home. They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here. They're gonna need to send in the National Guard, a fucking SWAT team, because I ain't going nowhere.
Yes, that is right there, sir. Our boy Tua Tagovailoa is not going nowhere. He is back, baby. He will be back. Well, no doubt, actually, this it. Yeah, he is back on the IR, but he'll be back to play for the Miami Dolphins. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't fucking leaving, bro. He is married to us. A lot of you guys are probably gonna go and be like, "What the hell, bro? Why?" Like Frankie Fresco. But I want to ask the guy next to me, Mr. DiTrapio, are you happy at the fact that Mr. Tua Tagovailoa said he's not going to retire and he's going to come back?
From a humane perspective, man, he needs to protect himself, man. Health comes first. Obviously, after football comes another chapter in your life. So from a humane perspective, I just want him to realize, hey, if you're gonna continue back, just know that you're very sensitive to these type of contacts. But right now we signed a contract for almost 4 years, so we gotta ride this bull and just make sure he's up, ready, and if he can return this season.
Wait, but you didn't answer the question, sir. Are you happy that Mr. Tua Tagovailoa said that he wasn't going to retire and that he's going to come back eventually to the Dolphins?
Yes, but I'm a little bit on edge now with him, because as a football player, it's come down to literally the facts that he's not durable, man. He's the type of guy who, that's a proud guy. That's a proud man right there, having to win that helmet, baby. But
sir, I had to bring it back. That's a Tua Tagovailoa signed helmet. That was right before the draft. Well, during the draft, when you won that helmet and you were excited, you say, you know what, Tua Tagovailoa is the man. I'm gonna be rooting for Tua Tagovailoa all the way. And there
Yeah.
is you cheesing there.
No, I am. I am gonna root for him. I mean, I'm not gonna go against the guy that we invested $200 million to. Now, do you ask me, is he a durable quarterback? No, man, he's not a durable quarterback. Is he a talented quarterback that he can move the sticks? Yeah, he can. And he has the talent, but he's just not durable, man. And it sucks. It's very unfortunate because we put a lot of time and effort to build this team, and for it to just kind of, go down the shitter in 2 games kind of sucks.
Well, I do want to appreciate a new name on the chat board. Too cool for school, baby. I like that name. Too cool for school says it. The Miami Dolphins organization has been truly a horrible experience as a fan. We go with Chris Forrester doing coke, that is true, on Dolphins facility, Rich Incognito with a racial slurs and the whole Jonathan Martin situation. Then he goes and says, now let's move forward in the 2020 era. We still do the same crap. Sign retired athletes, sign athletes about to retire. Then we give a massive contract to a guy who's a concussion prone athlete. I think too cool for school could not have put it in better words. It's just a disaster. So, with that being said, sir, we're going to go ahead and ask the question that is on the actual episode, on the subject, on the topic. Did our boy, is he our boy? No, he's not my boy. I don't know if he's your boy. He's not my boy anymore. I had trust in him for a minute. But did Chris Grier get it all wrong?
He didn't get it all wrong. There was a lot of risks, and he chose that route, and unfortunately it backfired. But he didn't get it all wrong. He had a vision. We saw the vision, and it helped us get back-to-back playoffs. It helped us get multiple winning seasons above 500. We can't discredit that. That's one thing we have to acknowledge, that we can't discredit I know we haven't won a playoff game, but you have to acknowledge what you have improved on, because if not, then you're going to go crazy, and then you're really never going to see any change on a positive view. But at the same time, it was a risk and it didn't work out. And right now we're on a sticky situation. Now we're putting our trust in Skylar Thompson, which has been around now for 3 years, and a Pro Bowler that became a Pro Bowler in 4 games, and Snoop Huntley.
Okay, for me, man, I'm gonna go on a different route. I think Chris Grier got it wrong. I think he's made mistake after mistake after mistake. So let's go back a little bit, and as Dolphins fans, let's relive this painful Chris Grier saga, right? So first and foremost, he draft picks Tua Tagovailoa. Wrong pick. He should have picked Justin Herbert. That's just me, though. I'm sorry. You guys, there's a lot of people who bash Justin Herbert. A lot of people that say Justin Herbert can't cut it. He hasn't done anything. He sucks, this and that. Justin Herbert has the exact same acolytes, probably even better than what Tua has. All Tua has is a couple better numbers, but what has he done? Neither one of them has won a playoff game. They both made it to a playoff, but neither one of them has won. At least Justin Herbert had a lead in his playoff game. We didn't even get to sniff a lead when we were playing Kansas City with Tua Tagovailoa. And at the end of the day, if you look at the longevity of this, let's keep it real. Tua not retiring hurts the organization. That's the truth, man. Whether you guys want to believe it, whether you guys are happy, whether you guys are upset at me, it's the truth. It hurts the organization because now we're dealing with a quarterback that we don't know what's going to happen if he gets hit. It wasn't like he got destroyed. It was a football play. Justin Herbert, how many hits has Justin Herbert taken, bro? And if you look at, and yes, he has had some injuries. I'm not gonna lie, he's been out a couple times too. Has he gone ahead and taken the Miami the Chargers to a comeback win and all that stuff? No. But has Tua done that with some of the big games that we need him to do? No, he hasn't done it either. If you start comparing one with the other, there's really not a big difference between one and the other. You could go ahead and say, hey, look, Justin Herbert sucks. Justin Herbert hasn't done anything. We could talk bad about Justin, or we could say Justin Herbert doesn't have the mechanics. He doesn't have, the knowledge of the brain to be able to read this and read that. What have we been doing for the last 4 years with Tua? We've been complaining about him being a spot thrower, which he is. Come on, let's be real, guys. He's a spot thrower. Why do you think Chosen ran the one way and he threw it in one particular way? If he wasn't a spot thrower, he would have noticed that Chosen took a slight angle and said, "Oh, you know what? Let me throw it underneath instead of throwing it where he was supposed to be." He's a spot thrower. There's nothing wrong admitting that, guys. Nothing wrong with that. There's what pisses me off, and it's been getting me upset with Dolphins fans, is that you guys are all defending Tua. And I'm not bashing Tua. I wanted Tua to win. I want Tua to be successful. But you also kind of have to, at one point in time, just let go and be like, we made a mistake. Chris Grier got it wrong. He got the wrong quarterback. He went with a quarterback that was injury prone. He got a quarterback that obviously came to the system that wasn't fitting for him because he couldn't get along with the coach. The coach couldn't get along with him. And if you start piling up the things that Chris Grier did, let's keep it real. You have the whole situation with Tua being drafted. They obviously made a mistake with Brian Flores. All you guys are all now questioning Mike McDaniel, saying Mike McDaniel is the wrong coach. We have the situation with the whole, scandal of Tom Brady and all that stuff. So we lost draft picks. And then what did he do? He went all in with Bradley Chubb. How has that panned out? He got hurt. You let one of your best offensive linemen walk. Yes, he got paid, but you let him walk. You let Christian Wilkins walk. Our D-line doesn't look like they could stop any run. They look old. They look like they all need to retire. We don't even know if OBJ is gonna now want to come out of his out of the pub. And Nick, I'm sorry, guys, and you guys might be mad at me, and you guys are gonna be like, "Damn, Frankie," and you guys might leave. You might not even tune into the show and be like, "Nah, I don't want to hear all this negative stuff." But look, man, I bleed Miami Dolphins just like just like all of us, man. But you have to cut your losses, and when you've made mistakes, and Chris Grier has made them, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that. I'd rather it be already confirmed. Yo, I screwed up. I fucked up. And then you move on and you start all over. It doesn't. Houston was able to do it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You just need the right guy. That's all you need. You just need the right quarterback. Because look, they got rid of Deshaun Watson. They sucked for what? Maybe I think they sucked for like 2 or 3 years. And then they got the right quarterback, man. And now they're back to being contenders. And they look amazing because they got the right quarterback. And they actually got off of that, Deshaun Watson horse because, dude, that guy's a problem. But it's the truth, Nick. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry to break your heart. I'm sorry to break the heart of all you Dolphin fans. But it's the truth. We just got to take the L when it came to all his decisions. His decisions were not right. And if you brought in Tua and you knew that Tua was an injured dude and you didn't straighten your offensive line, and it's always been an issue, then you should have never drafted him. You should have drafted a quarterback that was a big guy. Even if he didn't show the mechanics as far as like his knowledge on the field and all that stuff, you should have gone with him then. Because at least Justin Herbert would have been able to take the punishment. Unlike Tua, who nowadays we don't know what we're going to get from him. We don't know what we're going to get from him when he comes back. Because again, I don't want to, I know I'm like, yapping here, but who's to say that he's not going to do it again? Who's to say that he's not going to go out there and going to try to truck somebody and then get himself hurt?
So what did Chris Grier get right? Nothing?
I mean, he's gotten some things right. I mean, I like the Jalen Waddle pick. I like the Jalen Phillips pick. Achen was a good pick too. He semi got McDaniel right because he was able to get McDaniel to turn Tua into a better quarterback. but the bad outweighs the good, in my opinion, and that's why we see ourselves in this predicament where we see a mediocre team. We see a team that we don't know. We should be 0-2, to be honest with you, but we figured out a way to win that Jacksonville game. But now we look hurt. We look old, we look slow, we look not organized. We look like a team that's just trying to survive. And it's only the second game of the season. And then what you know what, Nick, what pisses me off is that a lot of people lose their hope on Skyler. And obviously we signed Tyler Huntley. And you guys are like, "Oh, no hope because Tua's gone." I've listened to TD Fence talk. I've listened to Dougie. I've listened to um, Fence TV. I've listened to all this stuff. Tua wasn't doing that good against Buffalo before the actual injury happened to him. So, has he ever done anything good against a really quality good team? Because he looked horrible against Dallas Cowboys last year. And look at Dallas this year. They look even worse. Why are we getting our hopes and our expectations like, "Oh, don't worry. If we're able to pull out 3 or 4 wins, we'll be good." And then all of a sudden, Tua comes back and then he'll save us. Tua's not saving anybody, dude. My hope, my I'm praying that Skyler or Tyler Huntley, for some miracle reason, figure it out and they're able to bring something to the team that none of the other defenses have been able to see from the Dolphins. Because I think that's the issue too with the Dolphins. They're figured out. The defenses know how to play against them. And when you don't have an O-line that can protect Tua, Tua doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's looking at one read and then he's panicking, so he's gonna start running. What what is there to think about? We need somebody else. We need somebody else under center. He's not the guy. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you this right now. And you again, this might be controversial. If Tua was to leave the Miami Dolphins and go to another team and win a Super Bowl, I'm still gonna be 100% with the decision that we made the right choice of letting him walk because I do not feel Tua Tagovailoa will ever make it to a Super Bowl, to be honest with you. And I really feel that no team outside of the Dolphins is going to take a risk with Tua. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, right now a lot happened when it came to the Buffalo Bills game, and right now we're kind of like trying to put everything back together. At the end of the day, we signed up for it. Was it a good decision? No, it wasn't a good decision based off on factors of durability when it came to Tua. But hey, we rode that route. We have to now live in it, move on, and hope to God that, like you said, Skyler or Tyler Huntley works out for the next couple of weeks. And if Tua's ready to play, we'll put him back there. Put him back there and play. Now, my question is, if Skyler or Snoop Huntley do really well, and they're like, I don't know, in the next, because Tua's not gonna play for what, 4 games?
4 games, yeah. So he'll be back by
So
the Arizona game.
let's say we go, I don't know, 2-2, but there's bright like those two wins were great and the 2 losses were close games. And let's say Skyler or Tyler Huntley plays really well. Would you put back? Do you think? Well, two
Hell
questions.
no.
Would you put back? Would you put back
Hell
Tua
no.
in a personal level? And
No.
then number two, do you think the organization will put Tua back onto the field?
I wouldn't. Organization will. They're gonna go ahead and put him back in. That's just how they feel. I think the Miami Dolphins feel that the best way for the Dolphins, their best chance to win is with Tua on the field. I've already come to a conclusion that no, you're not gonna win with Tua. You might not win with Skyler or Tyler Huntley. You're not gonna win it with any 3 of them. Let's just keep it real. That's what it is. And I know no doubt saying, be honest, Frankie, you're bashing Tua. I'm not bashing Tua. I've come to a reality that Tua is just not the right guy for this team. If he wants to go somewhere, please go. Like,
I mean, look at Baker Mayfield, man. That guy's career has gone 180, man. He was struggling in Cleveland, and now he's winning games in Tampa Bay. I guess it might be just a different scenery for him.
maybe he does need a different scenery. Maybe he does. And Too Cool says it here. Baker Mayfield is a better athlete statistically and a playoff wise. A baseball, but see, here's the thing. Too Cool. I'm not.
He struck out of 4 logos.
Yeah, like Tua knows how to fall like he's drunk off or look. That's funny. Um,
I like
I'm
you too cool for school. I like you. Bro.
I'm not gonna go and criticize Tua for not sliding. I'm gonna tell you why. First and foremost is baseball. I see, Too Cool got me fucking thinking about baseball now. Um, you're an athlete. Tua just got paid, dude. You're down 31-10, I think it was the score at that time. And it's fourth down. The team has been struggling. You as a quarterback, put yourself in his shoes. Imagine you running, you sliding, you don't get the first down. And don't tell me, hey, he knows where this first down mark is. You're not, man. The heat of the moment, everybody's looking, everything is doing, you've seen quarterbacks that throw the football short from the first down marker and everything. So it's like maybe he knew, maybe he didn't, but at the heat of the moment, he has a lot of things going up in his head. Am I going to be mad for him trying to truck somebody and doing that? No, that's a football instinct. It's like when I play soccer. I can't talk about football because I never played football, but I've played soccer, and I played soccer in my high school days and all that stuff until I got injured. But even now at an older age that I am, I still do certain things that I know I shouldn't probably do. I shouldn't be playing soccer, to be real honest with you guys. But what do? I take care of myself, but I still do it. So can I knock him? It's a high risk, low reward sometimes. He probably would you guys be criticizing him for going in and trucking that guy if he would have gotten the first down and he never would have gotten the concussion in the first place? You guys probably wouldn't. You guys would probably be like, hell yeah, what a hell of a move by Tua. He freaking got it. Yes, that's what I like. Hell yeah, he's making a play. It's easy to criticize him when it comes to him not sliding, but if he would have gotten the first down and never gotten hurt, would you criticize him and says, I don't know why in the world he didn't go and slide? You would have not cared, because you would have said, okay, now imagine the Dolphins would have scored, momentum would have been on our side, it would have been 17-31, and now all of a sudden it could be a ball game. Now the defense has a reason to actually go out there and defend. You got to look at both ways. So I'm not going to go and knock Tua for doing it. What I am going to knock Tua for is that he's just not an athlete that is able to play in the NFL and take the punishment that he, unfortunately, is going to take as a quarterback. Look at those games that happen on Sunday and on Monday night. You think Tua would have survived that CJ Stroud game and Caleb Williams? No way, man. Those guys were getting beat up left and right, dude. And keep in mind, guys, you make it seem like Tua, if he runs and if he slides, it would have saved them. Dude, it's football. There's a defender in the D line or somebody blitzes at him and could have hit him back on the head or something and done something, and he probably would have suffered a concussion. So it doesn't matter. It's football. It's a physical sport. That's what you're gonna get from football. So you going and saying, oh, it's Tua, he doesn't know how to slide, he doesn't know how to, take care of himself. Forget that shit. He's a football player. He's gonna do what's in his mind, which is, hey, I gotta go and try to win because my team is struggling and I just got paid. And you could give me those examples of like, Drew Brees and Dan Marino and, Dan never slide. Dan never ran. He threw the ball away. He did all that. You want to know something, guys? Go on the tapes and see as well. I'm pretty sure Dan Marino got hit a couple of hard times while getting sacked. I'm pretty sure Drew Brees got banged up a couple of times in the backfield without having to run, without having to go ahead and slide or anything like that. It happens. Injuries happen. It's a physical sport. Tua just can't handle it, bro. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Cap says 4 games equals 5 weeks. Yes, sir. And I say no, but they will put him back in. Right? Yes, absolutely. Of course they are. This is the only thing I'm thinking, Nick. And correct me if I'm wrong. I might be like, You know how I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? I sometimes think, oh, like for example, we can't talk about Diddy because Diddy is like in trouble and all that stuff. We can't talk about politics because some people like Trump, some people don't like Trump, some people like Kamala, some people don't like Kamala and all that stuff. But I will say this: when it comes to the whole election, I would be surprised if Trump wins. I honestly feel this is going to be a way that they're going to figure shit out or do something for the other one to win, for Kamala to win. So here's my conspiracy with the Dolphins. Check this out. This is what I'm praying, and I hope it's true. I hope this happens. The first time Tua got hurt, right? They brought in Skyler. They brought in Teddy. And the idea of Chris Grier, the idea of the organization was, hey, look, Tua's our man. Imagine if Teddy or Skyler would have done really, really well. That would have hurt Tua, in my opinion, right? Because you invested. Chris Grier invested on Tua. I drafted this guy. I can't have Skyler or Teddy look better than him because then that means I made a mistake again of drafting this guy. But I
Okay.
think the organization has come to realize, and I'm being honest, I don't have any insiders or anything. This is just my way of thinking. I think Chris Grier knows that he made a mistake. I think Chris Grier says, you know what? Screw it. This guy's not gonna cut it out. He's injury prone and all this stuff. Maybe now I'm okay with allowing another quarterback to outshine Tua while he's out. And now Mike McDaniel, he talks to Mike McDaniel, and he tells Mike McDaniel, hey, let it fly, my friend. Let it be make plays for not Tua, but for the quarterback and with the athleticism that the quarterback can actually bring. So I'm praying that maybe now Chris Grier is not holding back and saying, hey, we don't want the quarterback to outshine Tua. We actually want the quarterback to do decent, win the game, but Tua's still our man. I want Chris Grier to go with the mentality of like, hey, you know what? I gave up on Tua. I'm no longer there. We just need to win because I've invested so much. Because the only way Chris Grier can save his ass from getting fired is by winning. So whether it's with Tua, whether it's with Skyler, or whether it's with Tyler Huntley, his only way of surviving is winning. So if I go and allow now Skyler or Tyler Huntley to ball out, I'm okay with that. I want him to go for 400 yards passing. I want him to have 5-6 touchdown passes. Doesn't matter because now we have a confidence. Now we actually have the ability to go ahead and tell Mr. Tua Tagovailoa, hey man, you don't have to rush. Sit down, chill out. You could stay there, and we're not hurting because we already know. Hey, look, it's not him, it's not Tua, it's the system, it's the coach, it's the actual play calls that are being done, and obviously another athlete that's able to kind of like succeed in this program. We don't have to put our eggs in one basket when it comes to Tua. That's what I'm praying for. That's what I think might be different. I hope. Again, it might be my conspiracy. I might be talking crap, but I hope that that's what happens next.
Yeah, I hope that's the focus. Whatever happened with Tua, hey, that was the risk. That's why they made that contract signing. They believed in him. They probably still do believe in him, but now they believe in him in another way. And like you said, winning fixes everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier are kind of like, all right, we gotta change things up here because what we're doing now is not really working.
No doubt says winning fixes everything, but I don't think Greer and Mike had been holding other quarterbacks back. And you could be right. I'm just putting like a conspiracy theory because I honestly feel that if you had Teddy Bridgewater or Skyder go ahead and outshine Tua, it would not have looked good for the Miami Dolphins, for Chris Grier and for Tua to be like, oh crap, this guy is actually doing really well for himself as well. Now, if Skyler's able to go ahead and do his thing and all of a sudden he's productive and he's actually able to ball out, fuck yeah, let's do it. I don't care. Chris Grier's gonna be like, fuck it. I need these guys I need to win because I personally feel Chris Grier has given up on Tua. And I hope he has. That's what I'm hoping. I hope he has. I hope he's learned. Not because the guy can't play. Me and him don't see eye to eye. I could honestly say that. I think Tua could play. I just don't think he has enough to take us over to the hump. That's what I think. But the fact that what me, you and I would say Chris Grier hopefully agree on is that we all know that he's not built for the sport. He is too weak and he's gonna get beat up and he could hurt himself. And the last thing I want to do is get the kid hurt to the point where he can't be with his family.
Yep.
That's important. Like you could say anything you want from me saying that I like to bash Tua and all that stuff, but let's keep it real. All of us here, all of us Dolphin fans don't want the kid to get hurt. Even if I don't like him, I don't want him to get hurt. I wouldn't want his wife or his kids to go through like a horrible thing. Hell no, man. We want the kid to be healthy, but we all know that he's not there, bro. It's unfortunate, but he's not there. Cat for Life writes, we have to hope McDaniel made a side book, a side playbook for Skyler. Yeah, it'll be interesting if he really did do that. That would be pretty cool. And Josh says Greer needs to go. He needs to spend more on the O line. Look what the Chiefs did when they had disastrous Super Bowl and lost, and Mahomes got sacked a lot. And what they did, and what they did spend money on the O line. Yes, but I will tell you this, Josh. Even though the O-line was hurting for Kansas City was still a Super Bowl contender. Didn't you notice that? I believe that year they still won a playoff game. And that's what you need to come and realize. If you're going to have, obviously Chris Greer's mentality is also, hey, I'm not going to bulk up the O-line. I'm going to kind of take the easier route and kind of just take like one or two good guys to protect, and then everybody else I'll just make them pretty good and it's good enough. If that's the case, then you need to get a quarterback that isn't scrawny and little and can't take a hit like Tua. You should have gone after a quarterback that was a big boy, which in my case it would have been a Justin Herbert. It could have been a CJ Stroud. Obviously if we would have tanked or something like that, but that would have been the case. Look at the other kid, the guy from Carolina, how he's struggling. He's a small little guy too. And the thing is, guys, we don't play football, but when you go out there and you go to one of these games, Nick, these guys are huge, right? These guys are not the same kid. These guys are not the same football players that were back in the day when they were like in the Marino days. These guys are huge guys. When I went to UF, I was with the Pouncey brothers. The Pouncey brothers actually were in school at the same time that I was. And I actually, for you guys, because you guys probably don't know this, but one of my roommates when I was in UF was a football player. So what would happen is the Pouncey brothers would come and visit him. And what ended up happening is when I was a short little guy, because I wasn't the same, but these guys were like 6 feet tall, big bone mother skunks that I was like, Jesus Christ, these guys are huge. Awesome guys, real down to earth. But I had something that they didn't have. DiTrapio. You want to know what was that when I was in college? You want to know what I had that they didn't have that they envied me for?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
My Madden skills, baby. I was a diehard and really, really good in Madden to the point that I would compete. And they actually had a college tournament at UF on Madden, and I actually won. Beat over 1,000 people when he came to the Xbox version of it, because I was an Xbox guy back in the day. And then as a consolation or like a side thing that they did, the winner of the PlayStation one went up against me, and we had to choose which console we wanted to use. And I said, I'll jump on the PS version. I mean, I've played PlayStation. I'll jump on it and give it a shot. And I didn't beat him, but I gave him a run for his money, and he was the champion, and he beat a ton of people as well. So that's why a lot of the UF guys, the football players, would come and hang out with us a lot, because they would always want to play me in Madden and try to beat me, because they knew I was really good at Madden, and I really was back in the day. I had no life. I didn't have bills, guys. All I had was school, and when I was a freshman, all I had was school, party, and Madden. That's all. And Halo. I would play Halo a lot too. So that was my life back in the. And then when my brother would visit me, I still would play a little bit of golf, Tiger Woods, PGA Tour golf. I used to play that as well. I used to play a lot of things. When you don't have no responsibilities, right? Life is so good. Life is so sweet. If you're young and you're in your 20s or in your teens, enjoy it, because the moment you start hitting 30 and on, you get responsibilities like there's no tomorrow, and life changes. So Let's see what some of the people in the chat say. It says, Cat for Life says, I don't want to see this happen again for the fourth time. You could call me a hater all you want. I just don't want him to get hurt anymore. Facts. Chris Grier is signing athletes that need to go to nursing homes. The moment they touch the football, old athletes. They're all getting hurt, bro. They're terrible. To school, I agree with you 100%. We see eye to eye when it comes to the Dolphins. No Doubt says nobody wants to see Tua get hurt once again, Cap. I think it's Tua's call if he wants to play. It is the Finns' call if he gives them the best opportunity to win the game. All right, well let's look at this. Let's look at this, Nick. If Tua's cleared, and God forbid he gets another concussion, what? I think Josh has a fifth time. I don't know how many concussions this guy has had. He had the concussion with the Bills. He had the concussion with the Cincinnati Bengals. He had the concussion with the Green Bay Packers, and now I think he had this concussion with the obviously the Bills again. So I think it's 4. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He had one in Alabama before he got drafted.
Okay, so he had the one in Alabama. Correct. So that's 5. If he has another concussion, a 6th one, what do you think the Dolphins should do, bro? What do you think Tua should do? What do you think what do you think they should do, the Dolphins and Tua? And what do you think would happen? Because there's a very good chance that he might suffer another concussion, unfortunately, if he keeps playing.
The right direction that the Dolphins should do is bite the bullet and let him walk. Give him all the money he needs and move on. The guy cannot and should not receive another concussion. At the end of the day, that completely messes up your mental, and when you get older, it's not healthy at all. And honestly, if I were the Dolphins, I would cut him immediately. I would even let him touch the field. But let's say the Dolphins do let him go and let him play, and he gets a 6th one. I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, bro. I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster, dude. You know, it's trying to read you're trying to read the same book with a different outcome, and there's no different outcome. It's the same fucking outcome. So, if it gets to a 6th one, then we're gonna continue being an organization for not being known to win, but having these weird ass scenarios, such as what Too Cool for School said throughout history.
I think if Tua was to come back and he suffers another concussion, he should honestly just call it quits and just say, I'm done, and just take whatever guarantee money he has and get the hell out of there. I know that if he retires, he would have to, if he makes that call, if he's medically retired, he's entitled for his whole money. But if he isn't medically retired and he chooses to retire, then he has to come to a settlement with the Dolphins, and the Dolphins need to settle with him. I think at the end of the day, if Tua was to get another concussion, he would obviously need to reevaluate himself and be like, I'm done. I think the kid has an opportunity to be in like a news broadcaster, like for College Game Day or something like that. I think Alabama would love to have him there. Like every time they visit College Game Day in Alabama or something, that guy is like a freaking icon over there. So I don't see why he wouldn't be able to just call it quits, and he'll still be surrounded around the sport that he loves. As far as the Dolphins are concerned, if I was the Dolphins right now, I wouldn't play him at all this season. I would sit him out. Even if we suck, I would sit him out. I would put all my eggs in one basket, and I would go ahead and go with either Skylar or Tyler Huntley to see if they can get the job done. If they can't get the job done, then in the offseason, I would do everything in my power to try to get one of the top picks for the NFL draft, get a quarterback, and have a quarterback compete. And then when Tua comes back, hopefully that quarterback can learn from Tua and do like what Brian Flores had to do at one point in time, which was set out Ryan Fitzpatrick and put in Tua Tagovailoa. Do the same thing. Tua Tagovailoa sits down. They force, the coach to go ahead and put the new kid in on the field, and then the new kid is able to go ahead and get get going. But I would put all my eggs in one basket as far as like going all out for it
But do
with
you
a draft.
think they're gonna let Tua sit out with all those primetime games left in the season?
No, they're not. The Dolphins are not. Dolphins are naive, bro.
They gotta
That's
make
why.
money somehow.
That's why the Dolphins are the Dolphins. They're naive, bro. They don't think with like common sense. They can't. They have all the season ticket holders. Everybody's invested on this team. Everybody, look how many fans go to these games to see the Miami Dolphins choke or not at least try. It would hurt the organization. And then all of a sudden, you know, people lose hope and people will start kind of leaving again. And then, you
Well, sir,
know,
those are the bandwaggers, sir. They're not like us who sat in the fucking hot ass sun seeing Baltimore whoop our ass 58-10 in 2019. So there's a difference. We
there-
continue learning more on what we should do from a fanatic. But those fans that fill in the stadium, whatever they want to come, they want to come. If they want to stay, then for sure stay. Why not?
Too Cool for School says Tua needs to retire. He has 2 kids. I'm a father of 5, and when I was playing, I've seen many of my buddies regret the continuation of concussions they had and kept on playing. Prayers for Tua. Look, too Cool for School knows. I mean, he's a family man, and he knows that he needs to stop. And he apparently Too Cool for School played some football apparently, and he's seen some of his buddies get hurt and paid the way or get hurt over the years, and then all of a sudden, it cost them as they got older. Mr. Stanley says the only issue would be, does Grier and McDaniel's job hang on the Finns finishing with a losing season? I don't think so, man. I think if Grier is able to go ahead and make a splash trade, kind of like what he did with Tyreek Hill, I think the owner, Stephen Ross, will go ahead and make an exception and be like, okay, like this is your last hurrah. That's it. No more. No more. It's butts are out. Obviously,
People are saying Matthew Stafford, bro.
what are they saying with Matthew Stafford? Like trade for him? I don't know, man. That's tough.
Carolina gets Tua, right? No, was it Carolina?
No, Carolina has the kid. The kid that
I don't know if it's Carolina or the Rams. We'll get Tua and like a bunch of draft picks, and then we get Matthew Stafford in return, something like that.
So a 3-team trade where we get rid of Tua. Do we get rid of Tua or do we still keep Tua?
No, we get rid of Tua and we get rid of our draft picks, like 2nd round and 3rd round.
The problem is there a team that's willing to take Tua? Hey, he's a liability, man.
Yeah, 100%. But that was just like the rumor.
Like who would want to trade for Tua right now? Like if you wanted to trade for Tua, you could have done it last season when he ended in, I guess, in a decent note with his numbers looking all pretty and shit. But now, like, who wants him? Nobody wants him, dude. He's an accident being prone, bro. He's a huge liability, and not only that, not only is he a liability to the team, he's a liability to the NFL, dude. That's why I'm shocked that the NFL doesn't.
Look, Stanley said it. It was Carolina getting 2 draft picks, Bryce Young to Rams, Stafford to Dolphins, Tua not involved. Oh, I thought Tua was involved. Never mind. There you go.
The thing is, would Stafford make a difference for the Miami Dolphins?
100%.
You think so?
Oh, 100%.
Remember, there's no online. There's no online. People are criticizing this O-line, right? People are saying that. And then No Doubt says, we need them picks. This team is old. No doubt. What have we done with the picks? Like, the young guys that we've had, we've let them walk. Like, we did sign Waddle. We did sign, who else? Tua. Obviously, that wasn't the right call. But look at the other guys that resigned. We signed Tyreek Hill, who was not a draft pick by us. We signed Jalen Ramsey, which was not a draft pick by us. I've always been an advocate to saying that I think Javon Holland's gonna walk. why they haven't given him a contract yet, it's baffled me. I'm telling you, I think they're gonna let him walk. I don't think they're gonna sign this kid. They're gonna let him dip. And then on top of that, once you do that, who else is done? Christian Wilkins, you didn't resign. Um, who was the other one? The guard that dipped.
Robert Hunt.
Robert Hunt, gone. Andrew Van Ginkel, gone. You didn't sign any of your draft picks. So what are you really doing with your draft picks? You're not doing anything. Chris Grier his stock has been, hey, let me try to get older players in here and try to and better players outside of the draft. If you kind of look into it, the only two legit, I guess you not even because Tua's not even legit. Waddle's the only one that has kind of panned out, and Jalen Phillips. That's it. Everybody else, Bradley Chubb draft, he got it from a trade. There hasn't been any.
You got Javon Holland, Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard, I don't count him in because that he was out of that old regiment. You understand me? So he wasn't part of the new guys. And look at that.
Devon Achane.
Obviously, they haven't resigned them. They just draft picked them, but we don't know where they're gonna go with it. But if you look at the draft picks that we've done, look at the tight end that we got. I forgot his name. The tight end that we weren't able to like utilize him correctly, and he left. He didn't pan out. Hunter, I think it was his name. Hunter Long. There you go. He didn't pan out. What do we do with Mike Gesicki? We let him walk. You know, you saw what he did with who was it? Was it I think it was Cleveland? I think it was Cleveland. Where's Mike Gesicki now? I think he's either in Cleveland.
He's with Big Dick Burrow.
Oh, he's in Cincinnati. Yes. He's in Cincinnati. So yeah, man, like we're not doing anything with the picks, bro. It's a waste of time. Football is one of the hardest sports in America. It's literally a game about inches. That can mean good or bad. DiTrapio speaking truth on the rid Tua option. Yeah, you take your loss and you cut them. It's gonna hurt us a lot though. This team's a joke. Ross needs to clean house, starting with Grier. I think that's the route we should take, man. I honestly feel that a lot of us are fed up.
All right. So, how do you feel about the Seattle game? Well, what do you think is gonna happen?
So let's talk about the Seattle game. Do we have a chance of beating them? We do. We honestly do. Should we beat them? I think the Dolphins have enough to beat them, man. I don't know why. I think we have enough.
Yeah, especially that I think the running back for Seattle's a little bit banged up. Walker the third or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team, and as of right now, he's still not doing so well for himself. So it's not looking good for him to possibly play again. And I'm telling you, man, look, do I think the New England Patriots are a good team? I think they're not that good, and they had to go to overtime against the Patriots to beat them. So if you struggle with the Patriots, and I think the Dolphins without Tua or with Tua, they're better than the Patriots. That's just my mindset. So I personally feel the Dolphins should win this game. So I'm picking the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins find a way to win in Seattle. All they need to do, Nick, all Skyler needs to do is do those little screen passes that they do to Achane, what Tua was doing, and then those little routes where they give straight to Tyreek, especially if the Seahawks start playing zone. Do that and give the ball to Achane and Jalen Wright and see what they're able to do and go on from there. If they're in a dogfight, if they're in a close game where it's like they're down by 3 going into the fourth quarter, I like our chances. You? What about you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely we're gonna see Mike McDaniel is gonna be very conservative, and he's gonna try to do as much as he can with bubble screens. I hope he incorporates Jonnu Smith a little bit more, run the ball, and make sure you minimize errors, because at the end of the day, defense is not bad. If you kind of think about it, Buffalo's worst possession on the field was like on the 40th yard line of the Dolphins because of how many times we turned the ball over. So the defense looks pretty solid as long as we're able to minimize mistakes, not do turnovers, not commit 3 turnovers, and kind of just have that very simple football, Dolphins have a shot. The crowd is going to be into it. Um, you know, we got ex Dolphin players like Connor Williams and Jerome Baker playing for them, so they're going to be extra inspired. So it's going to be an interesting match. I wonder if Geno Smith is going to get pressured this time by Jalen Phillips or our boy Chop. But we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes with this game. It's not a 1 p.m. game; it's a 4 p.m. game, so it's gonna be a little bit interesting. But I still haven't lost hope when it comes to not beating this team. I think we have a shot, and hopefully we have everyone healthy by Sunday.
Talking about that. Talking about that. Good thing you mentioned that because I have something to share with you, sir. And I guess this is what we'll end the segment with. And here you go, sir. This is our how the injury report is popping out right now. We got Teron Armstead. Has a shoulder injury. Calais Campbell just took a rest. Everybody else rested. I mean, was limited. You know, DeBose, Rob Jones, Mostert, Jalen Phillips, Malik Washington, Jeff Wilson Jr., and then Liam Eichenberg played full. I didn't even know he was dealing with a shoulder injury this time. And then Seattle looks like they're in trouble. They have a lot of guys that are hurt. Now remember, this is only Wednesday, so this list might go down a little bit more by the time it's Friday. But
Usually, I'm so used to the other way around. Our list being longer than the other team, so this
yeah,
is a good thing.
but see, Kenneth Walker, he's not gonna play. I have a feeling he's not playing. Look
He's
at
a big
Jerome.
risk.
Look,
He's
we
a
might not. They might not even have Jerome Baker. He has a hamstring. He didn't even practice. So Jerome Baker, the ex-Dolphin, might not be there. Uh, it's
Tyler Lockett.
yeah. They have a lot of guys that did
No
not
offense.
practice.
No offense is another.
Look at DK Metcalf. He did not practice either, but it's only a hand, so I'm pretty sure he'll probably get through. But if he's not practicing by Friday, then I'll be a little bit surprised because I honestly feel like a hand, that's something you could get through. That's just my opinion though. But uh is that a team with more injuries than defense? Is this real? Yes, I know. Detrapper just finished pointing it out. Maybe I'm playing with you guys, man. That's what I did. I purposely manipulated the whole injury report just to make it look like we won something because that's probably what we're gonna go ahead and I don't know. Where usually it's always the other team around always having less injured players than we do. No doubt says Chop, no sack yet, but he is getting pressure. A matter of time before he starts connecting. I hope so, man. I have a lot of hope that he pans out. But sir, that is our Dolphin talk. We're gonna move on to quickly. I don't want to spend too much time because I see there's usually a lot of stupid Kane fans on the damn chat board. Lord, we got to keep hearing about these damn Canes. So, let me go ahead and show this. I hope it's a good view. Sorry, guys. I try to cut it all and put it all together. So, I hope you guys can see it. I was trying to edit a couple things. So it's not the best looking picture. Sorry, guys, but you get the point. So, I was shocked at how many Florida teams we have. So, let's go over the recap of how all of our Florida teams did. So, Ball State obviously got destroyed by the Canes. Congratulations, Canes. You guys beat a cupcake team. I don't even know Ball State had a team. And I'm just being honest with you. Texas A&M beats the Gators. Why am I not surprised? I watched that game. It was disgusting. We were down by like 3 or 4 touchdowns before the Gators even scored. So not a huge surprise. Florida Memorial, baby. Miami Gardens, Flobo beating Clark. No, tying with Clark Atlantic. What the hell? There's a tie in college football? Sir, is there ties in college football? I didn't know there was ties in college football. I thought they went to overtime. Apparently, Flomo and Clark Atlantic won. I guess each one of them won because they got a tie. You know what, though? Clark Atlantic has a hell of whatchamacallit, a band. I do know that. Memphis upsetting Florida State. Third, Another big L for your Knowles. No doubt must be devastated again.
Yeah,
It, it, it
it just seems like Florida State is just not connecting. Like I said before, I now with this loss, man, I I don't see. I see the King. I mean the Kings, the Florida State Seminoles at least winning just 4 or 5 games, bro.
I mean, if you guys took the UCF Knights, you would have made some money. They were the underdogs against TCU, and they won 35-34. Then you got some teams that I've never heard of. So, Stetson, Stetson, located in Dillon, Florida, got
Okay.
spanked by Furman, South Carolina team. Never heard of them. The South Florida Bulls. They the next opponent for the University of Miami. They were able to win and at least defeat Southern Miss. So at least they're going into this game on a high note, and they're also playing in Tampa. So maybe they could feed off of their crowd. Bethune Cookman, baby, Bethune Cookman. Jesus has no defense whatsoever. Allowed 59 points to Western Michigan. I don't even know where in God's green earth is that school, Western Michigan. I mean, I know it's in Michigan, but I'm saying I've never heard of that school. Sir, how is nobody talking about this game, baby? How was nobody talking about the FIU Panthers losing to FAU, the Owls, man, 38-20? What you think about that, Mr. FIU?
Yeah, it was a hard fought game. FIU was coming off of a big win from last week, but FAU had a hard game against Army. They barely lost, so I am not shocked that FAU came into town and whooped that Golden Panther ass. Of course, as you guys know, my girlfriend goes to FAU, so she was bragging, but it's okay.
FAU in the building, bro. Look, man, I was torn between FIU and FAU.
No doubt, F the mouse.
What did No Doubt say? He says, hold on a second. So Josh goes and says it's all about the U. Of course she is saying that. And then No Doubt says the way it's looking, UF versus FSU will be a battle to not go the entire year without a win. Well, we won, sir. See, the Gators are bad, but at least we won one game. We won last week before the Texas A&M, so we're 1-2. And then obviously no doubt says not devastated. It is what it is. Time to start a different QB. Why not? Yeah, I wish you had that same mentality with the Dolphins. Now the last game that I had no idea where this school is from. It's in Jacksonville. So if you guys are from Duval, you might know this school. It is called Edward Waters. The Tigers going and losing to the Alcorn State Braves, 38-7. Talk to me, sir. Have you ever, in your God's green earth, heard of that school? I mean, I've been to Jacksonville a couple of times. I've never heard of no Edward Waters. They must be a Division III or Division II school or something. I've never heard of them before in my life. Have you?
No, sir. Never heard of them, but hey, hopefully they get better.
More power to them. Hopefully they're able to squeeze a win. But see, guys, I mean, if you guys are Florida, like Florida residents, or you live in Florida, or you just don't care about Florida, now you learn a little bit about some other schools in Florida. I had no idea. But let's talk about the games that are coming up. And obviously the game that a lot of us want to hear and talk about, unfortunately, it's the stupid Hurricanes versus USF Bulls. Talk to me, sir. Oh, I like No Doubt. He says, F them Knowles. Hell, up them Owls. Sorry. F them Owls, not the nose, because he's definitely on. Oh, No Doubt says Stetson is up here by Daytona. It is a good school. Okay, cool. All right. So UCF is going to beat the Gators. Oh, Lord. Talk to me, sir. Let's talk first about the Canes. Well, what do you think? Canes against USF Bulls. Who do you got?
Canes, man. They're playing really good football. Cam Ward is playing really good football. We move on.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I honestly feel that USF has a shot. USF has a shot.
Mind you, UM is number 8 now in the rankings.
Yeah, man. Rankings, schmankings. Who did they beat? They beat crappy ass Ball State. They beat the Gators, who are terrible. I mean, I've already told you guys, I'm a Florida Gator, but I know my team sucks. I'm going to root for them. I'm going to talk smack no matter what. but I know my team sucks. That's just the reality. I knew my team sucks once I saw Billy Napier couldn't hack it. So if you can't beat the Canes, what makes you think you're gonna have a really good season? It's just Gators suck. I think USF Bulls have a shot. If the Bulls, they just had a win this past weekend. They beat the crap out of Southern Miss. Their defense wasn't the best, 24 points allowed. They just need to score, bro. They need to score. I saw them against Alabama 2 weeks ago. They were in that game heading into the fourth. I lost some money. I had betting money on USF when I saw that they were still the underdog going to the fourth. I was like, yes, I can make some money here. I think they could surprise. I'm gonna go and say USF will not win. Unfortunately, I have the stupid ass Canes winning again. But I will say this: it's a good test for the Canes because if Alabama was having a hard time with USF, I wonder how UM does. And if UM is able to spank them and it's not even close, then I might start edging a little bit and giving them credit. In the meantime, it's still a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see. As for the Gators, we unfortunately are probably gonna lose again. We're playing Mississippi State. I don't see the Gators beating Mississippi State whatsoever. And then for Florida State is playing Cal. 7 o'clock Saturday night, sir. That's a good game. I like Cal. I honestly feel that Cal is probably going to be the first team that actually gives the Canes a run for their money. So, what do you say, sir? Do you have any hope whatsoever for Florida State to finally win a game and not go 0-4? Because I don't think they've ever gone 0-4 in their history. And if they have, it's probably been way, way before we were even considered to be in this world.
Yeah, unless they have DJ under center, they're gonna go in four. But they gotta switch that guy. That guy's not good.
I agree, man, and definitely, no doubt says Canes win, but close than you might think. USF played well against Bama. Yes, I saw that game, man. I had invested money on them. Chalk it up for an L. Yeah, it's. I'm sorry, Florida State, man. It's just what a terrible season you guys are having. Even worse than the Gators. At least we didn't have any expectation, but you guys went undefeated the year before. It's crazy that you guys went undefeated, obviously, until you meet Georgia at the bowl, but you went the whole season undefeated, and then the next year you just start off 0-3. It's pretty bad. All right, sir. Let's move on to our last segment of the show, and of course, that is a little bit of soccer. Talk to me, sir. What you think about Champions League, sir? What you think about that?
Sorry, is that my girlfriend? Opened the door and she was talking to me.
Oh, I thought she was bragging. I thought she was bragging about FAU, saying, "Yeah,
yeah, she was saying, "Go Owls, go Owls." Champions League. I'm actually liking this format, dude. I'm really liking how it's every game counts. There's a tabla, so now you see certain teams moving up the spots, and you've seen others moving down, and so it looks nice because now once, like, if you think about it, now the third game or the fourth game, you kind of already know, I have 6 points. I can rest a couple of players. If I take an L here or we tie, we're fine. But now every game is like, dude, if we don't win and we don't put in effort, we might not make it out of the top 8. So this is pretty cool. I like what's been going on. And overall, each soccer game has been really good, especially that Bayern Munich game, bro. That Bayern Munich whooped Dynamo 9-2, bro. That shit was crazy.
Jesus, imagine if you would have bet on the Hard Rock that they were going to score 9 goals. You would have banked. Or at least +5 or +6 goals. You would.
Well, the over in that game, I saw they were expecting at least 3 goals. So it was like 3.5, but not 9, dude. 9 was already like people who ever thought about that, like you said, made a lot of money.
We also had Real Madrid win 3-1. They struggled a little bit against Stuttgart. They were in a dogfight the first half, and then they finally figured their way.
Sir, but you already know how it goes with Real Madrid, sir. It's a first half, observation, and second half execution. It just happens, sir. It just happens.
I like it. Liverpool won 3-1 against Milan. I was shocked about that. I thought that was going to be a closer game. Um,
No, I like the new coach for Liverpool. I think he brings a lot of fresh air to to the players that Liverpool has now. So I like what the new Liverpool coach is doing when it comes to Liverpool.
Any other game I could think of? Juventus won yesterday 3-1. Weston McKinney with a goal. So shout out to the United States, Weston McKinney scoring a goal out there. And then a couple games lined up for.
PSG played against Girona today, so Asprilla had a little bit of minutes with the other Colombian Cerroso, or
Oh
whatever his
yeah,
name is.
he did. PSG did pull out the win, 1-0. Wow,
And it
and
was when it was an alto gol, dude.
wow. I wasn't gonna bet on that game. I just without Mampe, I'm scared about that PSG team.
And then Man City tied with Inter. So,
Wow, Man City was not able to beat Inter. That is crazy. And then Dortmund, they won 3-0, so that was a good easy win for them. And then
yeah.
Celtic won 5-1, bro. Jesus, they gave a spanking out there as well. Very interesting. We got some games tomorrow too. We got Atalanta versus Arsenal. That's a good game. We also got Atletico Madrid versus RB Leipzig. That's a really good game. The game where I'm picking the upset, baby. I got Monaco pulling that upset against Barcelona tomorrow. I see that happening,
No
sir.
shot, bro. No shot.
I have, I
Barcelona's
have
playing too good, bro. As long as they have Lamine Yamal out there, bro, the baby goat, he right now
the
is playing his ass.
baby go. Get out of here. I have
Bro, he is the
Monaco.
golden child, man. He is the prophecy.
Oh, the prophecy. I love it. I say upset Monaco all day, baby. Feyenoord versus Bayern Leverkusen. That's a good game. Early game. And then Benfica goes against. Oh man, I don't even know how to pronounce this team. It's called Servina. Servina. So it pretty good, decent games tomorrow. It should be fun. Exciting. I like it. I've been tuning in. I've been watching it here and there, so it hasn't been bad. Inter Miami. We got the return of the
Great
GOAT.
job. Great job, bro. Great job.
Messi back. Like, if you guys have not put your money on Inter Miami to win the MLS League, do it. Do it. You hear it first, baby. Put your money on Inter Miami. I'm banking it. They will win the MLS Cup this year. To make some good money.
That is
Sir,
correct.
any other thing you want to talk about when it comes to soccer?
I just want to give a special shout out to the Colombian women's team. Unfortunately, they lost this past week for the World Cup U20. I'm proud of them, but at the same time, I'm tired of saying my Colombian teams that I'm proud. I should be um hoping for other different outcomes, but you know what? Baby steps, but that's kind of the only special shout out I have when it comes to soccer.
Well, sir, I mean, if you don't know, the United States women under 20 team was playing today too, as
Oh,
well.
that's right. That's right. That's
They were
right.
playing. I'm not sure if they won or they lost. I haven't seen any news. Did they win or they lose? I forgot. They were playing. I know they were showing it on.
By the way, I know this is a different topic, but did you see the UFC fight, bro, with the sphere?
It's funny. I
That
was
shit
I
was
was
crazy, bro.
I was gonna end it with that. I did see it. It was boring fights. Not the,
Yeah,
well,
very.
not boring. The main event and the co-main event were boring fights. All the other fights were pretty decent. They were pretty good. But the main event and the co-main event, man, I fell asleep, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was so tired that I stopped tuning in. I was like, screw this. But very cool. Very cool. The screen, the effects, you're there. I mean, if you had the money, bro, if you were
Fuck.
broke, you or middle class, you probably went to the Canelo fight. That's probably what you did. But if you were a baller, you would go to the UFC Fear because they were competing
That
against
was
one another.
impressive, man. That was
So,
impressive.
but very nice. I hope to do more. They're probably not because they have a contract with MGM Grand, so I don't see them doing another event at the Sphere anytime soon. But they should bring more different events to the Sphere. It's doable. You understand me? Look at the UFC. Maybe they could bring a boxing fight in there as well. That would be pretty cool. Maybe WWE or AEW can get a wrestling match in there. That
I
would be
wouldn't be
pretty
surprised
cool.
if AEW does it first because they've already have all in or not all in. I think.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool if they have like a wrestling in there. That'll be pretty interesting. And then also that concert. What is that EDM concert? I would love to go to that concert, but I'm pretty sure that concert is expensive. It's gonna be expensive. the one of the that thing that goes bah, bah, and he breaks the glass. I forgot.
Oh, Hollow by Eric Prydz.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
That
Afterlife.
There you go. Afterlife. That's what it is. Afterlife. That I would think it would be pretty cool to go watch in the
I would
Sphere.
also like to go watch the NBA Summer League when they have it there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, not so bad either. Sorry, anything else you wanted to say before we head on out?
Nah, man, I'm just happy to be back. Of course, as usual. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It's always a blessing having to do this sports talk with you, brother. Like always, special shout out to DJ Memo again. Congratulations on winning that big event. I'm very proud of you. Hard work always pays off. And the weather this week has not been really good. I don't know if it's been raining at your side of the town, but bro, it's been raining hard as hell at my side of the town. Down here in South Florida. So weather's been a little bit crazy, but hopefully we could enjoy Sunday's game, and then maybe you can enjoy that Monday night against Tennessee.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I want to give a big shout out to everybody on the chat board. Steven Gonzalez, who was number 1, Official Memo, Stanley Media House, No Doubt, Alex Velasquez, any too cool for school, a new one. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you tuning in earlier. Obviously, Josh, I think I already said No Doubt. Cat for Life also came by. So all you guys, we really appreciate it. If I missed you, I apologize, but thank you so much for tuning in on X, on Facebook, on Twitter. Well, not Twitter, X, Twitch, Twitter. I keep saying Twitter. I don't know why I keep saying Twitter. Twitch, Facebook, all that stuff, all that YouTube, obviously YouTube. And if you guys want to go ahead and again share and inform your friends and your family about our podcast, we greatly appreciate it. If you guys have any suggestions of us maybe doing something different on the podcast, I'm always open for suggestions, and I think my brother is too. So if you guys ever want to do something different and tell us, hey, maybe you could do this or maybe you could do that, we're always open to that as well. And if you want to be a guest on our show, we're always willing to have guests on the show. All you have to do is just send me a quick message at Fresco Music. That is my tag. If you want to send a message on the chat board, or on the comments of the video, you're more than welcome to as well. You could be like, hey, I want to be a guest on the podcast, and I'll be more than happy to hit you up and follow up with you guys. And then, of course, like my brother said, it's always a pleasure, sure, to be able to do the show with you. Hopefully, next week, we're talking about a Dolphins win instead of a Dolphins lost. Hopefully, we're talking about a Florida State win. Hopefully, we're talking about a Gator win, and hopefully we're talking about a loss.
Let me talk to you.
The biggest icon in wrestling.